and getting out of dodge.
And probably around, 4 or 5 more builds to get in the zone. Yeah, now just on the edge of this next rotation. You see a look at everyone on the high ground here pushing towards the top of the mountain. Falter's up there, Zate up there as well. From the low side, ace playmaker who we started this game with. Shu JJ just dropped to the zone. Braden drops to the zone.
That was 7 players total who just went down to Old Man Mountain, and we're actually going to rotate right back off of it. So that's one of the things that happen when you end up on this west side. It can be brutal, and we're inside that first placement threshold. But notice here, Bucky, he's just following his own tunnel back. He's like, I'm good. I just built this up. I know where I'm going. So he's going to be able to work down to where his first shadow bomb was, and then about face. Potentially catch somebody off guard, but does have another shadow bomb for a long rotation, and he's going to opt to use it going straight down to the far side again.
Yeah, I like that. You're waiting to pop the shadow bomb until you're basically guaranteed to get in the zone. Like, look, right there, that box that Bucky just made would be exactly in zone, and a brilliant challenge there.
That's his old box. That's the old one from when he originally shadow bombed back out. So then when JoJo pushed down, he edited that wall and he had already re-owned it.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh my, that was, because if it had been fresh, there's no way JoJo would have known. But he's like, oh, there's no way there's somebody in this metal, as Bucky now edits back through, almost catches another player off guard, just with a little bit of foresight, as now we're into the top 15.
And now this is going to come down to pure tunneling right here for Bucky. No more movement items. Quick little spray on the physics. Bucky doing a great job of making sure to stay ahead of this rotation, but also give himself a second or two to look back and possibly pick up a couple eliminations. Still right on the forward edge of this zone. I love what I'm seeing. It is Zate, though, on the high ground, and we did just see Zate in the top 10 in score. So see exactly how this game ends for him here. Shoots out the launch pad so no one can easily challenge. Rocket comes in and a great catch to not take any fall damage.
Yeah, needed to be able to get that right on top of himself. Does have the heavy sniper, but now only has the one more build. So going to see him off to take a little bit of fall damage, but then trades it right back out away by picking up Flicks and then also picking up Deity. But Bucky doing the same thing. So Zate clears out the high ground. Bucky clears out the low ground. And now we have a 1v1. Bucky with all the mats and the low ground sprays up towards Zate. Who has the better drum? Who has the better positioning? Who will close this out as Bucky begins his move for the high ground?
Whoa, he just got high ground so easily right there. Zate, I mean, I don't know Zate's material count, but Zate's got to be out. Yeah, there's no way Zate has any materials. There it is. I was like, okay, wait, that was suspiciously easy. And yeah, it was because Zate was out of mats, and look at that fossil.
That's nuts. That's going up over it and then having to come back down just on an angle, though. So you saw him come down and have to branch out. It's unfortunate because Zate picked up 2 elims there, but because of that moving zone, unable to pick those back up. Should have had right around 30 builds. Instead, ends up with 0. Ends up not being able to deny the high ground retake and loses that victory royale. So good clutch up there, but not quite enough as we rotate into the next match. Again, if you're a little newer to the official broadcast, first of all, welcome. These players have 10 matches, 3 hours to get through, and we hop right on into the very end games, trying to find them from that leaderboard, the ones that impacted, the ones that have those players who are challenging for those 6 qualifying spots out of the region.
Amy beginning to break on out, 5 impulses. Here goes the pressure. Lands right next to 2 players, trying to make it happen with the dual wield pistols. Swaps it over the drum gun for a moment. Caught in that tree. Can't break out as of yet. There you go. Now going to impulse, catches themselves right on the edge of that zone too. 3 more impulse grenades to use. Quick little clean up with another drum gun right there, and the snag of the combat shotgun. But again, the ammo, the big thing right now, look at the use of these impulses to just barely stay ahead of the zone. That was a botched one, I think.
I was just about to say, well, we were good up until there. Now putting himself back on the edge of the zone. Going to try and use the other one, and does get a clip there, so not taking fall damage. Also making sure to throw out the ramps. Overall, really solid rotation. Was going to comment on the dualies that I was rocking, because I had this kind of like pipe dream where that was something where it was really good and super damage efficient, because it is 44 per shot. So if you get the headshots, really powerful. But immediately trades it out for the combat shotgun and then gets picked up, possibly because of that first failed impulse. But I mean, there are so many people posted up in this lake area that it would have been impressive to get through there.
There's the high side of the zone right now. with everyone stacked in those builds. CBK Flame playing in the middle to low ground. Physics, we saw him in the last game as well. Top 25, please. That name fitting for this one, as they're currently set up one box over. Now Vice, 2 eliminations, 134 builds still left. Launchpad as well.
4 shadow bombs in that inventory. Debating on popping one right now. Is on the edge of the zone, so has a decent angle. He's going to pop it and start to try and work through this middle tarp. Wants to find things to kind of wall hop off of to extend that duration out. Instead, just going to pop himself right down the middle and reset.
Rifts being used on the left side as the zone pushes forward. Chewy on the low ground right now. Young Lord with an elimination right there with the drum gun. As now Emperor, 2 elims to this point. The only 2 elims, the only 2 points earned so far. But close to a top 25, which would be another 3 points replacement.
Is low on builds now, though. Down to 7, down to 5. And you see he's only trying to cover whatever he has to. And he's checking back, trying to find an RPG. And he gets it onto Jolly. But now he needs to get over there and potentially get some mats. Otherwise, he's going to be out. There was his last one. Instead, opting to go for the long committed reload. Gets it off. And the storm is going back over.
That's a saving grace.
Everyone's going to be funneled into him right now, Courage.
Yeah. And he's still got 5 rockets in this epic rocket launcher. There's the quick one. Bello immediately limbed, and you got to go for it.
He wants him. Yep, he wants to go for it. But he sees the other player there. Is able to play Luke Goblin. Also picks up a redeploy, so if he can work vertically, he'll be good. But he didn't get a ton of those mats. Picks up top 25, please. You got your top 25, 24th for you. So 3 points and not much else. But Yarop making short work in the backside of the lobby as top 26. Wow, goes down in 23rd. Krusty and Musil over there, but we're going to pick it up with Vice. 75 builds left. Does still have the Shadow Bomb in prime position right now as players have to rotate by him.
Quick little spray. That's a press SMG. So good at spraying through these walls. Continuing to put pressure on, not letting the opponent use those minis. Oh no. He's stuck in the bottom. He's stuck in this box.
That player has to know. He's just going to start swinging, hoping to make contact, but instead...
What?
Picks up Young Lord. So if you're not jumping around, you don't get any type of indication the player is there. So Vice opting to just stay stationary and stay right in front of him. He gets the drop on him. Brilliant pickup for the Elim there. And now still has an extra Shadow Bomb.
Yep. Has 2 more, to be exact. As now Vice slowly inching on in. Always keeping out for an opportunity just like this, the suppressed SMG. It's not loud, doesn't make much noise when there's so much going on in the audio. In these late game moments, you could catch your opponent off guard with the spray right there. A look at how close everyone is to each other on this low ground. I can't tell if anyone's on ultra height right now, but Vice is going to continue to put these shadow bombs to use, and I love this. Sitting in that box for cover. There's Chad on the high ground right now, but very low on HP.
Yeah, T-Chad up on that ultimate high. Brian T on the mid-tarp takes out Flame as we get closer to that last placement threshold. There's Vice holding the edit angle, gets one good tack shot, opts to pop what I think is his last, yes, it's going to be his last smoke bomb now as he tries to work up vertically, trying to extend the time, gets onto the mid-tarp. 1, 2, 3 shots with that rare attack onto Brian T, and he picks that one up. 6 players remaining as all the shots are going out. Picks up Nikiski as well for top 5. Those are their high impact elims, and he's not done as he drops down and picks up Chewy as well. Vice, 6 elims so far, and now it's all about the elims and the victory rail, and it's down. Tied at Vice is putting on a clinic. He says, "This is my Sunday. Take it away from me."
Vice, 7 elims. The only thing now in the sights is a victory royale as well. All the ammo you could ever want, all the mats you could ever want for this late game. At max HP as well. Vice going for it, trying to build up for the high ground, trying to stay ahead of the zone. Drum gun putting on pressure. The trap gun, he got both! He got both! Vice drops the trap and runs away as he gets both to win the game.
Double kill. Just like that's
Oh
an immediate thing.
God.
I know, I apologize, but wow, just
For
such
real.
an amazing.
Reminds me of 2.
I know, just the first thought in my head right away. I mean, cool guys don't look at explosions, right?
That was it.
I mean, even cooler guys don't look at their double for the victory royale trap elimination right in there. It
So
was
was that a
just
19-point game?
so good. Yeah, I mean, whew, we talked about it. Hey, a 19-point game, that's a pop-off. That's impress.
Yeah.
Like, just so good right now. But hopping on board with another one of the favorites, FaZe Cloak in there. I mean, that is a hefty loadout too, Courage.
Yeah, he's got all sorts of utility to use right now. Just holding the pyramid, cone at it for the moment, looking for a snipe. Just like that, Slacks is caught off guard, and now that's the green light to go. But it seems like the player nearby also has the same idea. And I'm wondering if Cloaksy now gets aggressive on this person who's going for his loot. Turns back for the one nearby. That's a quick little 60 tag.
I'm nervous because he is not covering his back there with the player who just played Loot Goblin. However, guessing correctly, that Snood, the Loot Goblin, is going to then opt to heal up, needing to use those resources and taking his time. Snood grabs what he needs, gets out of dodge, throws himself right back in there. So one quick call out on Snood. He is one of the few players who's been top 100 every single week for the solos, but has yet to qualify. There's very few of them. He is being the one up there with the highest average. Rogue Shark is also up there on that list as we hop on board with him, taking out Hokage Winteru and then just pushing forward. Doesn't care if the trap is there. Let the trap go off, Kearney. Rogue Shark says, I got something better. Ra-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Yeah, and right there, takes 150 damage, but gets a 50 for the siphon, and then also has minis and a big shell on the ground, so we'll be able to heal back the full HP. 29 players left, closing in on that first placement threshold for points. Dez now spraying on out. No tags right there, but definitely has an inventory you can work with in this late game with the legendary assault rifle, the rare drum gun, a shadow bomb, some minis left. Looks like now just going to go ahead and sit on top of this cone, peek on out for a moment, and then we'll have to rotate. So I'm expecting an immediate use of the shadow bomb here, but maybe Dez is looking for somebody to use a launch pad and then he'll follow it up.
Yeah, he's hoping somebody uses some form of utility. Not going to see it, so that's being patient. Knowing he only has the one, he only gets one good rotation out of this, but doesn't have enough time to get over to the side of the mountain and chain it out. So now you got to go up on top of that, and that's a rough one. If you look in the bottom right corner.
Oh, he did have a launch pad, though.
Yeah, did have a launch pad. Wasn't showing in his trap inventory. Just a small little spectator UI there as Slothy picks up Sinbad, and we get closer to that first placement threshold. 28 players left.
And I think this is the right time to use everything that you can. When you're this close to placement threshold, when it's such a harsh rotation like this, look at all these people on the bottom left side, all taking storm damage. Hezi, Emperor, Malorus, Slothy just made it in. Macwood, very weak. Eron, very weak as well. Did Emperor just get in a limb?
Yeah, Emperor got any limb. Hezi tried to run to deny it, or just making sure that he wasn't going to get picked up, just knowing he wasn't going to make it to the zone, and instead Emperor says, no, I got you. Going to pick that one up and get himself inside the top 25, so going to be glad to pick up those 4 points. Tom Dez, though, turns back, picks up Blasian there on the angle, and then goes in, gets all the loot for his trouble. 50 builds now as he puts down the preemptive trap, not going to find it as a rift to go out from the side. That one guy is looking to take the rift. No, I don't know his name. That is his name. And he goes down to the storm as Cloak now tries to get his feet planted, but a ton of shots coming in his way.
Yeah, not many materials left for Cloaksy. This looks like it can spell disaster here any moment. Top 19 wanting to hit some of these shotgun shots with this combat shotty. Heavy sniper ready to be used potentially to get in this box as well. And here he goes. Cloaksy, wall is his. And just like that, another elimination, some extra materials to continue to build on in with.
And top 15, so that's huge for him. That's a nice little 3-point swing, but gets caught with his blueprints out by Little Hyped, who is rocking basically attack in a dream right here. Will the dream be enough? 13 players remaining. Slothy picks up strike. Predator goes down to the storm. Rogue Shark, another one of those players who's been top 100 every time, takes the high ground, takes Lil Hyped out, and we're into the top 10. And he also has the 2 shadow bombs to work a top down.
Top 10 scenario. Shadow bombs ready. Quick little shot. And we've seen this more and more, how good this combat shotgun can be in these high ground late game scenarios. Rogue Shark has to be careful. Yeah, about to run out of materials, decides to drop on down. Very, very smart. Taking some storm damage for the moment, just trying to stay above this mountain. But look at how tight packed 5 players are right now, all on this one level, and you see just how hectic this is. It's an absolute spray fest with the drum gun. Snood trying to connect any tack shotgun shots possible. There's one, there's 2, there's, no, I thought the third.
Shotgun ended up picking it up. Now Shot needs to get back into the zone. But Rogue Shark just took control of the high ground. So when he ran out into the storm, he grabbed enough mats to get up there, and he blocks everyone else out. Now he wants that last Elam. He knows the player has to be low. Instead, just going to wait it out. Rogue Shark looking to make it his week. Top 100 week 1, top 100 week 3. Can he get into the top 6?
Monster game right there. Absolutely monster game right there. And you know what I'm looking at right now is, and I guess I'll pose this question to you, is right there, you're at 100 and almost 179 or 180 health almost. You know that there is no longer a pump shotgun in the game that can do 200 damage, and you know your opponent there has to be about to die. As you said, he wanted that last limb. Do you think now players will begin to get more aggressive for that final limb, knowing they can't just be one pumped from 200 health to 0? Or do you think they're content with giving up that 1 point?
I think you can't be, like, if you're trying to qualify, you can't be content with leaving any points on the table, as Zay goes right on in to Dark Seven's box and picks that one up with only 3 HP to spare. Siphon taking over, does get some minis out of it. But as you're saying, like, I think if you're playing to maximize efficiency, no, you don't go. Because, yes, there is always the chance that the person hits the 4 drum gun headshot or the quick double tap of the combat, and then that's over.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, we've seen so many of these qualifying spots come down to tiebreakers, come down to the very last elimination, sometimes coming down to two tiebreakers deep. And, and like, I kind of want to go for it. Like, you've seen the best players, the ones who are qualifying, they're going for it in those circumstances.
Now Kaizui here, a player who we've seen continually do well in these tournaments, and that is brilliant. Kaizui knew he was no longer going to carry these stink grenades. So instead of just leaving the one behind, says, you know what? Let me throw one in the box next to me. It just so happens to be on a 10 health player for a free point. Just smart little plays like that. Heads up, 1 point can make all the difference. That one stink bomb could be the difference between Kaizui qualifying and not.
Yep, when you look at it at the end of the day, if he needed one more point and he didn't throw that, well, then he didn't throw that. But that's all about maximizing your efficiency.
Yep.
And as Zeke and I were talking about earlier, kind of making your own luck. Like, yes, is he a little bit lucky that that player was sub 10 HP compared to somebody who's full health? Absolutely. Does he get that opportunity if he doesn't throw that stink grenade and doesn't make that small little intelligent play? No, he doesn't. Now Stretch having a little fun here in the box, throwing out the dance, throwing out the snowball, waiting for this rotation to happen. Pops the launch pad and gets out of dodge.
Flies right on in. We are very, very close to where the chili pepper spawn. I'm wondering if anyone picks up a chili pepper for late game rotation. How funny would that be? Someone's moving faster.
I mean, the extra speed would certainly help. Don't know if you can, like, spare the half second it takes to activate. FC puts down the traps, but the traps only do you so well if the player actually drops in. Stretch, instead staying above, holds his high ground, takes it out there. 30 players left, so a third of the lobby to basically so go. And this one is stacked. Zake, Mega, Dopai, Damien, Stretch. So many great players in here, all battling for 6 qualifying spots, trying desperately to get to that New York City final. Kaizua in here, Sofa in here, Native in here. As you see, 19 spots total up for grabs today. We have already given away 10. We'll have an 11th when Brazil wraps up. And Sprite sticking with it, picking up Strawberry's lap.
And Sprite was actually, used that shadow bomb, and was just kind of stalking the player on that high ground until the right moment came, and it does, using that drum gun to quickly eliminate them. As now the launch pad comes into play. Native building on out, so weak. Down back to Stretch. I mentioned how skilled this player is just a little bit earlier on. 62 total builds remaining. Very quick edit on that stairs, almost seamless. Showing off the abilities here. Does take 50 damage, but will recover for the brief moment.
And now he's going to turn back and look at those players because they're going to be forced to rotate into him. They were getting their last shots off before they had to move, and he's now going to pick up Elims for it. He was ready, puts the trap down, and then blocks that player underneath. That player is going to be able to disengage either out the side or down the bottom, but Stretch going to then pop his minis.
With it going right back, I love that. I love that right there. He notices his zone goes back the same way, so he's already on the close side of that, so he has time to pop that campfire. And look, from 60 health, Now up to what's going to be very, very, very close to the full 100 HP.
And now just leaving that side open, knowing the players aren't going to be looking towards his direction, just because the angle of the rotation picks up Sofa. Does get cracked back a little bit, so needs to find some space to pop minis again, opting not to full cover himself because, again, knows the rotation, knows where these guys are. We talk about tracking in the sense of aim. This is tracking in sense of knowing where other players are and knowing how to move and maximize yourself. Now you have Popcorn right above Sprite with that boom bow, and these are the last 10 players for this match. We're almost halfway through the queue times, but Sprite, great little high ground take onto Popcorn, and now he's gonna run ultimate high from the top down with a whole bunch of ammo in that drum.
Oh yeah, has all the ammo you can need for this late game, especially on high ground, and the builds to continue to tarp on out. I like that right now he's being conservative. Yeah, I like that a lot. Wasn't overbuilding on high ground, knowing he's probably going to drop down. Even now, still just putting enough connected, making sure to stay exactly where he needs to. Let the rest fight it out, and then I'll swoop back in for the final points when the time comes. It's his thought process right there.
Yeah, they stretched in the bottom right on that mid/low ground just cluster. WD being picked up by Fernando. You have Sprite, who's in the high ground in your top right as Damien picks up Zayt, and that was outside of the top 5, so drop points there for Zayt, as now it's all about the Elans and Victory Out stretch. Drops down, picks up Fernando, but Sprite has just been running it. He's
you got to go for this right now.
Down. Sprite should be able to close this out. Unless Stretch can get some space and get that shield off. But Stretch turns some great shots back onto it. All of a sudden, now he's not sure. 2 HP to 80, but Sprite looks a little nervous now.
I mean, Stretch should not be able to win this game.
He's going to drop him down, though.
He's going to start to spray. This build could collapse here at any moment. Doesn't actually finish shooting it out.
Sprite goes to challenge, got it.
Yep, that's it. Well done by Sprite. Kind of builds on out into the zone for a second. Sprays on down with the elimination. 5 elims. Victory Royale. 15-point game there for Sprite, Zeke.
Thank you so much. I know that is your favorite soda alongside Chicken Parmesan. Bala, we are joined here now. These games have been unbelievable. NAEast is not disappointed, and I know you have pulled some awesome clips to share with everyone, so let's take a look.
Yeah, I love these games. A lot of fun ones so far, and NAEast, it's heating up. Here's a little clip of Rox. He gets the cone replaced actually inside this player's box. Similar to the turret we talked about earlier, you can't actually build stairs though, so that fight is going to end. Okay, but then I love this game. Look at this tunnel by Buck. He's making very sure that he's not going to get pressured as he goes up this mountain, and good play from him. But the reason I love this game is because it was really a tale of two different sides, right? High ground and low ground. Zayt on high ground, Buck on low ground. And I love that Zayt here does not ignore it. The fact that his window of opportunity is shrinking, right? So he gets that heavy snipe, gets the window at it, then closes it. He realizes, hey, I can't actually get this player. I'm going to get rewarded from high ground for it. He uses the launch pad, gets right up, and gets TJ for his troubles as well. Zayt on high ground continues his onslaught up here with the drum gun, not letting anybody get away from him, but he does end up dropping down to low ground right there for Flicks, and that's the moment that Buck is actually going to be able to take high ground. But speaking of Buck, down on low ground, he was dominating the entire time. Meanwhile, while Zayt was all the way up top, this 3 elimination spree right here, that was crazy. So he's at 9 eliminations right now. Zayt was at 8. So they basically were taking on each side of the lobby, and there, that's exactly the moment that Zayt was down below. Buck took the high ground and made quick work of Zayt as well. And then the rest of these games, I love them too. I love the fact that we're watching all the people who are at the top of the standings. Vice just sitting in his cone there. We've talked about it over and over and over. That player right next to him could not see him through the metal. And then here, oh, wait, who did you just eliminate? Top 25, please? You did it, dude. You did it. You're good. You're good. Congratulations. Top 25 you did get. And then Vice, we talked about it. He's up there. I think last time we checked, he was in 2nd. So he went on a tear in this one. I mean, Zeke, this was disgusting. The stuff that he did, these edits.
Wow, shutting down, especially someone like Nikiski.
Yep.
You'll like this, well, I mean, you hate to see it if you're Nikiski, Chewy as well.
And with the tactical shotgun, the high rate of fire, the close range in these last zones, and then the smart tunneling, that's ridiculous. We've seen that those moments where you drop people down so quickly. It's awesome. But then this quick reaction, I don't even see it. Like, I don't know how he got this, but look at that. 2 players in the box. He actually placed 2 traps down, gets both the eliminations of the Victory Royale. I don't even know how he placed those traps. He is that quick. The players didn't even realize either.
I mean, if you're Vice, you're feeling really good about that performance. Double play there. You'll like to see it. We should probably take a look at the standings, see how things are going for players currently. Right now, FaZe Dubs sitting at the top.
Come on, man. Dude, week after week, Dubs, what are you doing? What are you eating? Like, what is this? Like, every single week he's up here. He's already qualified. He's already going to New York in solos. And he did it last time, too. But regardless, here's the rest of the guys who are actually competing for that ticket. He's competing for the prizing this week. The rest of these guys competing for the ticket to New York. Buck, Vice, Rogue Shark, we've seen all of their games. Kaizui also was in a game that we saw. I'm enjoying watching all these standings kind of shape up and watching the matches as well, because it's getting Dubs is far away again, taking the lead. But look at the rest of these. Look at 37 down to 31. That's not a huge spread. And we talked about in the EU, that's not a huge spread. This could go anyway, right? See.
Yeah, I mean, players still can contest, right? With one great game, you know, you talk about it like Sundown has mentioned before, 5 eliminations and a victory out, 15 points hit the board. You know, suddenly you're finding yourself way up there. So, I mean, take a look. I mean, he's only played 4 games. He has 6 games left to play. Yeah. But Buck, who's right behind him with 37, still has 7 games to play.
But look at another quick difference here. Zayt at 32 and Buck at 37. That one fight is a swing of 4 points. And guess what? They're not even that far away. 5 points is the difference between them right now. So those little interactions, they matter, they add up, and maybe they'll fight again in the future games. Like, you never know. You could end up popping into one of the games with them.
You know, I mean, I'm ready to hop into games. I hope you guys are as too. Don't forget to use that hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Let us know how you're enjoying Mother's Day. We want to celebrate with you. Send us your favorite plays, clips, predictions. All of it. We love hearing from you guys. But now let's hop back into games. Sundown, Courage JD, back over to you guys.